Okay, so what we're going to do now is we're going to take the flying orbs project that we worked on previously, and we're going to get rid of the name flying orbs from the image, and we're going to substitute some web font from google.com/webfonts repository of web. So we'll show you how to go about using a font that most people might not have on their system. So the first thing we need to do is adjust the image which we had assigned to the div box with a class name of content. Okay, so right now we have an image here that is background image content.jpg. So I'm going to just quickly go into that image in Photoshop and just modify it a little bit. So only thing we really need is this piece right in here. Okay, the rest of it will assign a black background and it will fill in the rest of the header area, and that's where we'll place the image right in here. We don't really we'll place the text, so we'll put like a heading 1 text for this web font or something along those lines. So let's take and copy this piece into its own image. Alright, and now we're going to save this piece. This is going to be that piece that's going to replace the header image. So File, Save for Web, and let's call this right here. There's the 3 images we have before. Here's the one that's called header. I can replace this header, and let's say this was the old one. Okay, and I'm going to write a new one in here called header. So now if we look inside that area for those files, you'll see that in the images we have the old header and we have the new header. Okay, so now I need to go into the header class, okay, and I need to change that background image. So let's go into header, go into background, and you can see in the background here how I think I'd mentioned .content was what we were working on, but we're actually working in .header, which is the class name header. You can see that image, I just replaced it. It has the name of the old one, so now it's using that smaller image I just created as the image, and it's repeating itself across the right because I don't have a no repeat set on this image. So I'm going to go in here and create a no repeat right here, and if I apply that, automatically you see that it just stops repeating. And that's all I really needed to do in that area. It looks like I already have a black that is up above in the styling that's filtering through as black as the background. It's probably either on the body tag or it's on the container tag. I'd have to go look if I wanted to, but I can see that it's okay. So I'm not going to have to add a background color inside the header class. So let's click OK. Alright, and if I want to preview that in Firefox just to make sure it's going to look alright, preview Firefox, save my changes, and there we go. So now I'm ready. I've got that top area ready for me to place a style. That's what it looked like before. This is what it looks like now. Alright, so let's go back to Dreamweaver and let's add the information in there as real text. So we're going to go in here, I'm going to go to split view, and inside my header area, okay, which is going to be right in here, I'm going to go ahead and create a heading tag. So I'm going to say, let's do H1. Now you can do this many different ways. I'm just going to place a set of tags and call this flying orbs. Right? Just like we had before. Now, this is what it's going to look like when we just add just the text in there, just flying orbs. If I preview that in Firefox, save my changes, there it is. It's not lined up, it doesn't have any styling, so we're going to have to apply a couple styles there and a font style. So the first thing we want to do is go over to, well, it's not the first thing, but let's head on over to Google WebFonts. Alright, I have this open here. Let's see. And we're going to use the web font faster one. Okay, and so let's you can go to google.com/webfonts, search around, see which one you like. When you find one you like, there's a little button next to each of them that say quick use, and you can go into this quick use and you can scroll down here and you can see, oh, here is the code that we need to add to the head section that is going to link our font through Google's API. So Control C to copy and head back over to Dreamweaver, and I'm just going to place this in the head section. Okay, so underneath the link for my style sheet, I'm going to go up there and paste the link for that font. Alright, it's the link to Google's APIs accessing the font Faster 1. There's the name of it right there. Alright, then I'm going to go scroll down here a little bit, and I can see, oh, here is the font, the CSS information that I want to list as font family Faster 1 cursive. So I'm going to copy that, and I'm going to head on over to Dreamweaver, and I'm going to click inside this flying orbs area. I'm going to create a class, or I already have a, I'm going to create a CSS rule, right? So I'm going to go over here to my styles panel, CSS styles panel, and click new CSS rule. Alright, and it's going to say you want a rule for container header H1. I'm going to be less specific and just make it for the H1s that are inside the header. Alright, it's going to write it to the style sheet. I'm going to click OK, and in here I'm going to say, okay, for one, I want the text color to be lighter. Maybe I'll go with white, and hit apply. You can see it made it white. Also, I can go to the box category, and I need to adjust the margins for that H1. So I'm going to go to the uncheck same for all, click left margin, and try 55 pixels. Alright, it looks like it's okay. I'm going to try a little bit more. Alright, 75 pixels. Let's try 100. Alright, that looks good. And then let's give some spacing from the top as well. So let's go 50 from the top, and it pushes it downward there. That's fine for now. Maybe we can adjust it later. Alright, now in here under the type, we can also list a font family. Alright, if I look at the drop down, I don't see any of the fonts, and I haven't set up that font in here before. But what I can do is I can take that line that I copied from Google WebFonts, and I can apply it to the style. I can find it in the style sheet and paste it directly. So I'm going to click OK on this, and I'm going to head to my styles.css file by just clicking on the quick access button to that code. Right? And if I change it to code view if I want, or either way, it doesn't matter. Let's scroll through and see where that style was added. Oh, here it is right here. Header H1. There's that color, there's that margin, and that top margin. So I'm going to go into here, and at the end here, I'm going to paste in that line that I copied from Google.com WebFonts website that told me what to use for the CSS code. Alright, so now if I click on here, let's hopefully see if this works. It's not going to show up in design view. Let's go ahead and preview that in Firefox, because that'll let me save my changes, and let's see if it applies itself. So preview in Firefox, save, and go back out here. Oh, and we've got some styling issues. Okay, cool. But it looks like the font has been utilized. I can see it here. So what I have to do is I need to go back, because previously I had a height set to that content box, or no, I'm sorry, the header box, and so I need to go and adjust that, because in the header box, right, I put in some on that heading tag, I put in some margins which created more height, right? Well, I need to have less height than that. And if I'm not sure what the numbers add up to, I can always use Firebug's tool and come in here and say, oh, okay, what's happening here? Let's go to the inside the body, inside the container, inside the header. I meant to say header, not head. We have this image, it's 207 pixels. Okay, if I change the height of that, I can start going, oops, this is what we have to do. Let me see. I gotta go to that H1. That's not gonna work. I gotta take the margin top off the H1 and use different CSS rule for that. So I'm just gonna take that off right now, and what I'm gonna do is inside the header, I'm gonna create some padding inside the header at the top, and then take away from the height of the box as well. We all make mistakes, yeah? Alright, so go in here to the header, and inside here, I'm going to go to the box category, and I'm going to create a top padding of, let's say, 27. Then I'm going to change the height to be 180 to compensate for that. And if I click OK, that should bring that down and apply that as such. Also, let me go into that header H1 and let's change the size to be a lot bigger. So let's try like 72. Alright, so now if I preview this in Firefox and save my changes, loading up, there you go, flying orbs. So that's how we go about adding web fonts to an existing web page layout that's using a graphic for its banner, and we're going to use text, which is now searchable and as real text, and maybe help you place higher in the SEO, in the search engine's placement. And great, so that's it.